neighborhood. One of the bills on this legislative review that I'm very proud of actually came from concerns here in your neighborhood about the rec center. Because over in East Baltimore, as they're going through this 21st century school planning process, the school system said to the neighborhood that they were thinking of knocking down the attached rec center for the school so that when they rebuild it, they can rebuild it on a bigger footprint.
The mayor announced that all city residents will be receiving the municipal trash can that looks like this. And it came from a pilot program that we did in Bel Air, Edison, and in Greater Montgomery. And the reason why they chose those areas is because they had a really high volume of rats.
Serious one.
I had a quick question.
I enjoy living here. I wanted to go back to where it was, where there was a lot of harmony, where we all worked.
My children felt good about going out to play. There were no arguments or ugliness going on. It just seemed that we all lived as neighbors. We took pride in maintaining the appearance of the neighborhood. My husband especially loved to keep the lawns cut. And he would not only cut his lawn, but he would cut both of the neighbors on either side of us. And we did that in order to help maintain the neatness of the neighborhood. And I can recall around that time, it was around in the late 1950s, there was a truck that would come through and actually wash the streets.
From the time when they left, because they'll be 24, they're 21 and 20 this year. Since they left Guilford, the school has changed. It's not as strong academically as it was when they were there. And that's disappointing to me as a parent, because my husband and I were able to work with the teachers in the school to try to make sure they got the best education. And one of the reasons I work with the neighborhood organization is to try to make the schools better. We're working with Walter B. Carter now to try to get more recreational programming at the school for the neighborhood students and children, so that they'll be able to have more recreation.
The things that I remembered growing up as a child is that there were a lot of black-owned businesses. And a lot of those business owners lived within the community. Beauticians, there were people who had restaurants, there were barber shops, and all of these owners lived within the community. And so they brought a sense of pride to individuals that gave them some sense of hope. Whereas those business owners worked late and they were able to walk around the corner right to their homes. One name that comes to mind is Miss Cherry, Miss Cherry's Beauty Salon, where my grandmother got her hair done, my mom got her hair done, my sister got her hair done, and incidentally, Miss Cherry became a member of our church. And so Miss Cherry would just be able to walk right around the corner to home, and the business owners came out and they kept the streets clean, and or they perhaps gave a child a few coins to sweep their streets. Once we fought, it was over with. But today, something else has happened wherein people just don't fight, they kill. And when that spirit of murder comes upon us, it only grows into something far more vicious, to the point that families, and it goes on for years and years and years. But the question was stated, what do we do? I think that I know the answer as a God-fearing man. The Bible says, if my people who are called by my name would humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then he will hear from heaven and he would forgive their sins and heal their land. To the credit of the Neighborhoods Association, I must say that within the recent few years, we have decided to come out of our homes and do something about the problem. Through the community prayer walks, we have seen a drastic change within our community because the residents have decided to come out and do something about it.
But the main one is my baby boy. He's an alcoholic from them liquor stores. And he was so good, he'd go up there and win, hey, we know what you want. So, you know, talking may or may not work. You know, and Gloria will tell you too that she would go and just come over here and just kiss him on the head, you know, because he'd be drunk. But anyway, he came, he was invited to go to one of the streets to meet somebody. He met a bullet. And fortunately it didn't kill him. But he went home, he told his mother, I can't do this no more.
I grew up in this neighborhood. My parents moved in Wilson Park on Alhambra. I'm thinking 58, 59. I started to attend Winston Elementary School. Didn't know it was a brand new school. But what I do remember about attending Winston Elementary School, and it had a lot to do with this neighborhood, that my mom was very upset that we had to go to Winston, and I didn't know why. And her argument was Guilford was closer. And on Alhambra, the people who was on the odd side went to Winston. The people who was on the even side went to Guilford. So they actually split Alhambra in half.
Alfred Wainwright, lived in Wilson Park for 40 years, 42 years, and loved all of those years. I've seen great transformation in Wilson Park.
Well, they come around, there was more soul people and more like family. Like, you used to sit out on the porch, you talk to your neighbor, and everybody just, we had a big snow back here years ago. Biggest snow I ever had. We got together, all the men got together and shoveled Fuller Avenue out so we could get our cars out. But you don't find that no more.